secret I've been hiding under my skin. My heart is human, my blood is boiling, my brain IBM. So if you see me acting strangely, don't be surprised. I'm just a man who needed someone and somewhere to hide to keep me alive. Just keep me alive. Somewhere to hide to keep me alive. I'm not a robot without emotions. I'm not what you see. I've come to help you with your problems so we can be free. I'm not a hero, I'm not the savior. Forget what you know. I'm just a man whose circumstances were beyond his control, beyond my control. I need control. I need control. I need control. I am the Martian Man who hides behind the mask so no one else can see.
Alright, welcome guys to the second episode of the Blender stream for beginners. At least for now it's just for beginners. Later on we're gonna switch to more advanced stuff. And we switch into desktop already. Let's see. This is something you might have seen, the impliedrig.info wiki. Also, here's again, we've seen it last time, but it's more or less what I intend to do in these streams here. Again, if you guys have any questions in mind or any topics which aren't here in mind, let me know and I'll put them where they belong, in the level they belong to, and we'll get to them eventually. So last time we have seen getting the right blender, adding plugins, basic UI. We get a little bit to that now. And basics of models, vertices, edges, faces, editing textures, and calc heads. We've finished here. So today we're gonna see more or less this stuff here, both heads and preparing an export, compiling it. How is it made? How the best folder is made, right? That's good to know. And testing, implying testing. And also I'm a bit sleepy, so forgive me if I pronounce words a little improperly. If there's anything you don't understand, just post on chat and I'll repeat it. Maybe less relevant, but kids, sure, that's a good point. So let's add it here. Preparing very simple ones. And editing git config. That's also let me start the music again so we don't have silence. ASMR. It's a bit loud. Maybe a little. No, this should be fine. It is not particularly quiet, but I got AutoDAC, which makes it go quieter when I'm talking, so. Let me see. A little quiet. That should be good. If it's supposed to appear on stream, you are gay. And that means you, the watcher, the viewer. And the guy who posted it too, of course. Alright. And so let me bring back the chat. Gays, the gay community. Anyway, so first of all, the cat head, the boss heads. Let's go through what we did last time first, very quickly. Also, let me put this on top, so it goes on top of OBS. Perfect. Ah, damn it, I'm trying to resize it. Fuck, I can't. Well. We have prepared this 4cc temporary folder in the desktop. We got our Blender here, so let's start it. Again, if you haven't watched last week's stream, you have no business being here. You have to watch that first. Today's stream assumes you have watched that. I want to talk about everything again because there's no time to loop and loop and loop. I will just go through it very quickly, just as a reminder for people who have watched that. So, we have Blender. We can rotate it with middle button. Oh, also let me press the N to open the N panel, T panel, N panel. At the bottom of the N panel, we have the screencast keys. And we got T, N, and I, G. Alright. We can rotate with middle button. We can right click to put the 3D cursor. We haven't seen that, what that's for yet, I guess. We get to that soon. And here's the UV panel, I call it. It's the UV and image editor. You can also move it with the middle bar, by the way. Or you can zoom out, zoom in. You zoom with the scroll bar, scroll wheel. Okay, and then we got this. I didn't mention what it is last time. It's called the properties. Properties panel. And you got several panels here. And the main one, the one which starts is the scene, because it's for the whole scene. And there's many things we don't care about. We only care mainly for now about the best model IO and FMDL IO, which are the plugins foreground made for importing and exporting stuff. Alright, and music is still a little loud, I guess. Alright, should better that. What's that in the cold breathing winter of 2025 shakes was mocked by a wild pack of cubes. Anyway, let's keep going. I'm pausing too much. And now we got here we got the outliner, which is a list of objects and especially meshes we get. So if we import something like the card head here, separate front and back and two-sided we had this time, we get that. And this is a model. So we got it here, and you see it's inside what we call a parent. And you can move this, and you move everything. Because everything's selected right now. And you can cancel with right click or escape. Okay, so we can open this, and there's a plus for that. Inside we got the meshes and a skeleton, which is just this bone, only the head bone for this one. Oh, well, that doesn't matter. We select a mesh, and we can press Shift, or from here go to Edit Mode and enter Edit Mode, which lets us modify the stuff inside of that mesh. So we got the vertices, we can click them, we can move them. And you see the other mesh, because we got two separate ones, stays there. So now you might say, but I only want to focus on this mesh here. I don't want to see the other one. Well, there are two ways to hide the other one. Either you come here to the outliner and click on the eye to hide it. You see how we were actually looking at the one in the back. Yeah, it says back. And why is it transparent from the other side? Well, we get to that soon. So yeah, move it now. Or the other way, if you got a packed ton of meshes, for example, and don't want to click on the eye for every single one of them, you can press backslash. And backslash will it will hide everything, and it will only focus on the mesh, on the single mesh you have selected. Alright, so as I was saying, you got the vertices, and you got the edges, which you can switch to selection by edges with this one, or by using Control Tab, you get these three here. Let's say right quickly available right next to your mouse indicator, mouse cursor. Now you can select by edge, or you can select by face. You can see that everything else moves to adapt to it. Alright. Let's see, I think that's enough for that. I don't want to get too much into detail, because this is just the basics still. Once we get to the beginner stuff, we'll get into why this is invisible and how do we move this without the other one carrying and sticking to it and stuff like that. But for now, let's take a look at the bot's head, and I think we need to download it still. So let's go to the wiki, go to aesthetics portal, let's go to templates, let's grab the bot's head. Oh, what? Okay. So standard download and download as a zip are the same thing, I guess. So let's go to not this OCC, the one on desktop. And now we got boss head. There it is. So Force Engine pre-thoughts. It's a single model this time. So let's copy that. Go to Blender, and now, oh, we need to clean this sheet. Control N. No, that doesn't work. Why? Because we're inside edit mode. Object mode lets you do Control N to reload the startup file quickly. Otherwise, you can just come here and do new. Even if you're inside edit mode, you can do new from here. So yeah, the shortcut corresponding to Control N changes depending on the mode you're in. Control N, every time Control N, new. Here we go. And now we're back to start. So let's import the bot's head. And it should be, let me do something. When you use a folder a lot, and it's not always here, and it's not a folder from which you've loaded the model, like in this case the 4cc temporary folder, you can add it to the bookmarks by clicking here, and there we go. So now even if you're here, you can click here. Bot's head, pre-thoughts, and let's import that. But let's take a look at the folder first. So we got the texture DDS. It says bottom, top, right, left, front, back. Bot's head model and the materials. We still need to take a look inside here, but for now we're only looking at the basics, and to make basic aesthetics you don't need to know about these ones. So let's keep it as it is and import it. So double click, and there we got. So as we said last time, to put the texture on it, you have to click it, enter edit mode. You see the UVs now. You just open the picture. Boss head. There it is. And to see it properly, you need to exit edit mode. So I'm gonna do again screencast key. Okay. The tab. There we go. And to see it even better, I press A to deselect, to unselect or deselect. You see Now, after rotating a little, you might not understand which is the front. Let's assume we don't have the word saying front. Let's assume it's like that. And which is the front? You press 1 on the numpad or on the regular number keys. You see the front. And again, you press 3, you see the right. You press 7, and you see the top. This comes in very handy from when you want to do align stuff and move stuff along something. Yeah, you'll need to remember those. 9 is... it just rotates. Interesting. And 6 rotates the other way. Oh. And now 4 that way. 8 and 2. I see. So the arrows on the numpad are for tilting the view a little, but 1, 3 and 7 are special. And 9? 9 flips the view pretty much. Interesting. 9 flips by 180 degrees. Never seen that. Haven't tried it. Okay, that's very nice to know. You see, you never stop learning with Blender. Even after using for like 8 years and a half. Alright. It's actually 9 years and a half. Anyway. See what to do. Yeah, nothing much to say about this. We have seen a cube first time. You can also hold control when pressing 1, 3, 7. Yeah, instead of giving you the front with control, it will give you the back. So you don't have to do 1 and 9. You can just press Ctrl 1. That's also a good thing to know. Alright. Yeah, it's just a cube. I was thinking if I had anything to say about it. Not really. You can just edit the picture, but we have seen that last time. So yeah, not much to say. Let's see. So let's take a look at how an aesthetics export is made. Let's see if I can download the template from Implying Rigged. It's probably a little old, but it should be alright. So, for the template, let's see if this has a template for an export. No, it doesn't, of course. That's fine. Yeah, I guess we should make it a little more accessible, because right now, the place I will go to get a template, besides downloading another Teams template, which we could do now, yes, is going to Tools and going to the... No, never mind, sorry. It's going to the AET page, which is the aesthetic export format. AET actually means aesthetics export template. That's the very old name it had since PES 2015, I mean. It's the times of Tony. Macaque. Smugleaf will say. Anyway, at the bottom you can find the template for PES 16, 17, and now 15 too, I guess, if your team is new. And that's an example of a completely and fully supported export. So, yeah, I made a TST2 long time back. Damn, so I didn't even put the folders in it. That's pretty bad. Made it when? Desktop. Yeah. He doesn't say. Anyway. So let's move this out. Ah, okay, I did make folder. Okay, so this one is only one that shows up because it's got the annoying SamsDB. It's a picture database which Windows puts and hides, even if you got hidden items available and shown. It's a system file for some reason. Anyway, so you got the node.txt, and let me bring this up. And what to do with this file? Let's actually take a look at some Teams export. There isn't even a common folder. That's how old it is. Ah, yeah, it's from January 2017. So if we go to exports, let's try grabbing something not too complex. Probably A will do. Okay, we got it. Okay, this one is inside a folder, so we take it out. Here it is. Let me delete a few things. Okay, so we got a node. You see, let me put this on the side. Oh, it's here. The template I got here is with the RGB code and the hex codes, and the template at the bottom is RGB. What a mess. Anyway. So we got, first of all, the theme. This is very important because the compiler looks at this and looks for it in its own themes list. And to understand the actual name of that, no, the actual ID of that theme. So the ID here is just obsolete. You see the current template doesn't have it. You can even delete it. Okay, you should delete it. Because otherwise you might forget to update it when you get to a new cap and you have a new ID. For example, when you play for an invitational, you make a theme for an invitational for something else like VGL or VTL or something else. And those caps have IDs that change cap by cap. So since you actually don't need to write your ID anywhere in the export, it's better not to write it. Okay, that said, you got the theme colors, which can be either in RGB code. Let me open paint.net and take a look at what that is. So it was 0041. It's 0041. There's this color here. And we got 255 and 154. And it's this one. And yeah, they do look like ace colors. Actually, let me do this. A little neater. There you go. It looks like their kit one. And then we got the kit colors, which I see they've written in hex format. So, and if you don't know about what the fuck is a hex, it's simply this stuff here. It's the same stuff you will write here, and you see that here is 94, 98, and here is 99. So let's assume we got 100, no, let's put a 9 here. It's 153. So if we take this here, this and this are equivalent. That's because FF in hexadecimal means 255 and 99 means 153. You can understand that if you ever need to compute it, you can grab the calculator and do the programmer calculator, go to hex mode and do, for example, FF. It will tell you 255. Or if you need to convert the other way, 153, it will tell you 99. So these are just 3 numbers in short. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And therefore they're red, green and blue. This is very basic stuff. So the point here is that when you make a kit, and let's take a look at the kit textures. And they got the kits here. You should, every time you add a new kit, for example, grab the color picker and pick one color. It says 00029. Copy that and paste it here or here. You see they have pasted more or less here. And grab the other color and paste it here. You see it's again a little inaccurate in the case, but there we go. So why do we do that? For 2 reasons. One, because the score tracker at the top left of the screen during a match, depending on the competition type, and some have it, some don't, but it's better to always have the colors ready. Some of them show your team's colors to make it easier for the viewers to understand which team is which. And even more importantly, on the pre-match kit selection menu, you get a bubble near the bottom for each of the 2 teams, which grabs, I think, the first of the 2, and which is supposed to tell what is the main color of that kit. And that is important because if your team has got any FVMs which don't follow the kit colors, well, to avoid clashes, we really need those bubbles. So we can check, oh, this one is red, this one is blue for the other team, they should be fine. And they need to be updated. Yeah. So A has 8 kits, and for each of them they got different colors. There we go, here are the kits. Alright, and there's other notes sections in which you can add if you want stuff. And telling the guy preparing the aesthetics that, yeah, this shit is broken and it's supposed to be like that for now. I'll submit a fix later. We don't save. Okay, that's the Note TST. It's not very complex in the end. Then we got from simplest to less simple, the logo. And this one has, well, you see, it's got the team ID in this case, but it doesn't need to have that. You can even write SSS, it's fine. As long as it's something that has 3 characters in it, because otherwise it's not good. If it's SSS, the right ID, or even a wrong ID, like 882, it doesn't matter. The compiler doesn't look at it at all, and it will just say, okay, this is team A. What's the ID for it? It's 702 on my list, so I will put 702 everywhere. And so the logo, let me put it here. We got an R version, which is very small, 128, 128. Then we got a medium version, which is R underscore and L. Yeah, I think it's an L. Let me check. No. Yeah, note that the last part is lowercase l and ll, not uppercase I and an I. Yeah. Because just by looking at that, you have no idea. And that's the LL, RLL. R means real because we're supposed to be using real teams, even so they aren't. And the LL means large and large. So, how large? 128 pair, 250 seats pair, which is double, and 512 pair. They need to be these sizes here. I think the game will crash otherwise, but I can't remember trying. Anyway, don't. So, most teams just put the same stuff on all three. Some teams, let me show you an example. FCOG. This should be fine. Put something else for the smallest one. This smallest version is shown in some places like the aftermatch, no, not aftermatch, the aftermatch and after halftime statistics screen, let's say. The one with the one shown when people say guess the stats, guess the scoreline. Sorry. Alright, so that's pretty simple actually. Then we got the kit textures, which are still pretty simple. We got youth 0, then again the team ID, which again can be SSS or whatever. And then you got the identifier of the kit. We got G1, which means goalkeeper 1. And goalkeepers on PES started from at least 16, maybe even 15, not sure. Only have one kit. Well, on 14, they can have various kits, which adapt to the kit you have selected in pre-match. But here is always the same kit. There are ways to get different kits, and we'll get to that much later. And then we got the kits for the outfielders, which have a P, which is player. Player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4, player 5. Or we should say kit for players number 1. Kit for players number 2. You can have up to 9 here. And they all got to be, well, I have this open already, 2048 per 2048. You can make it smaller if you want, but there's no point to it, because this is not a huge gesture, it doesn't take much space. 5 megabytes is fine. But you cannot make them larger, otherwise the game will crash. Why? Because the game, and on some competition types like the one we use for the 4CC, grabs the cup logo and puts it here, and puts another logo here, which was the say no to racism here, or something like that. It depends, we can change it. We sometimes change it. So, PES needs to edit this image on the fly when loading the kit. And if it finds the kit, let me first see what. It's actually no racism, say no to racism on the original. On the 4CC it's been changed with something like that, different. But I can't remember right now. Damn it. I need to look for it later. Actually, I might have a way to find it. So, let's see if I can find it easily. These are lots of screen caps from testing lots of shit. You can see it. Smug. I have taken one with a flat model on which I put a kit texture just to check how it looks, how PES puts the badges. They call badges on it. If I can find it. Weird. Maybe it was on 16. Ah, look at this. You might recognize it as the technology that was used on the friendly gameplay thread a few weeks ago. This picture is from 8 years ago. It took me 8 years to find a good use for it. I think I cannot find it. Let me look for the pictures taken on PES 12, not 12, 16. So most of these pictures are extremely old. Also, look at this one. This is the first use of an outline ever on a PES from 9 years ago. But AOG, the AOG manager said, nah, it looks better without. So they didn't get to be the first team with an outline. Later on, MS said, oh, that looks interesting. Maybe I can use it for my girls, for my Yuri girls. And so you and PMMM ended up being the first teams to use it. Oh, wait a second. Oh, this is the boss from Summer 16. It was testing. And I had to make this one, International Space Station. Oh, look at that. Oh. Anyway, let's keep looking. Wait, I cannot find it. Oh well. I have an idea. Let me look for one last place. Oh, I think I found it. Yep, found it. It was called... it's on PES 17. The thing is, it has different colors than I thought. And 14. What? Let me actually look for it on everything. Where it is? Where is it? It's... Oh man. I had put it here on kits. I was looking for it on my screen caps folder. Okay, so finally. Look at this. When PES takes the kit template, it adds the badges. One is the cap logo, and the other is... There we go, it is rigged. So when it tries to edit this kit texture and it finds it to be much larger than usual, it will crash, but not crash, it will soft crash. It will stop loading any models and any texture and anything. The file loader will crash pretty much. So the only way to move on is restarting PES. Like that. Alright, sorry for the delay on that. And another way, the texture might be much larger than usual if you save it. You might remember that we talked about the various types of compression. If you save it as uncompressed ARGB, it will go from 5.3 to 21.3. which is the same as saving a 4K texture with compression. And in that case, PES will also crash. So it needs to be DST5 or DST1 if you prefer. Got an idea. We could try. I should check if a 4K texture saved as DST1, which is only twice as large as a normal texture, will crash PES or not. Stuff to check eventually. But even so, there isn't much of a use for that, because nowadays there's a better way to use larger textures for the kits if you want, if you need it actually, which is the common folder. We'll get to that later. Okay, so textures, you make as many as you want. Yeah, since we're here, how do you make a kit texture? Let's assume we want to make P9. So we copy one, wherever. Make it P9. Then here. Now, well, you either edit by hand if you're an artist or an autist, same thing. Or you put some pictures on it, like, well, this is not a good place for that. I can send it here, like this. And now we got a weird kit. And this works actually. Let me actually show you. And I don't know if, well, it must be somewhere. But there's something called a kits previewer. You can find it on my page and maybe also in the Blender tutorials page. But here it is. Click or no, you open a new one here, I think, if I remember correctly. How to load kits actually. Let me see. Load your kits texture from here. So here, image, open. We grab our texture, which is here. Now we need to save it. Paste, enter, and open. Now we get a kit. It works, I guess. But let's assume we want to make something nice. Something that looks fine. How do we do that? There's a pretty easy way. There's PES Master. Let me look for that. Okay. PES Master Kit Creator. You can look for it on Google. This thing I have never used it myself actually. I'm not the guy who has ever needed to make kits, except, okay, the only kit I have ever made by hand, but you will see why I didn't need this stuff here, I could make it by hand. And so I'm not an artist, I'm just an autist. Let me grab something. Should be here. Yep, this one. This one, the Panda Trueno kit. And of course, it's pretty easy to make. Just select and color. Well, I did need to mask it a little with the magic wand, but you don't even need to get perfect to the edges because the UVs only get up to here, more or less. So you don't get to see the shit here. When in doubt, you just grab the color and extend it a little. For example, if your kit has a little bit of purple in it, just color black. In fact, almost all kits use the same numbers with some English Teams logo on them. Yeah, I'll get to that in a bit. And then I grab that, I grab the logo. It looks kind of bad. The only part that took some effort was this, aligning this to this thing here. Because you cannot see, this one is actually not twice as wide as this one. You need our KISS previewer to see that properly. So let me grab this, copy. And again here we scroll down a little. I think it was here. Yeah. So you need to go by trial and error, I guess. And yeah, the most important part was aligning this. Yeah, you move the line a little, you save, you come here, you do refresh here to refresh it, and you try. So, as I was saying, I usually load the texture directly from the UV map. Yeah, I normally do that too. For example, here I loaded it from the UV map. But this is a pre-made blend file, this KISS previewer, and it's got the texture as a material, which is set to be displayed immediately. So you see, if you do this and load a texture, I think it won't work. Yeah, it won't work because it's ignoring it. It's only using the material. And that's actually better because otherwise you will need to grab all of these individually or use multi-edit or join them and load the texture for each of them. Instead, with the material, you got a single point. But we will see later how materials work. Don't worry about that. Don't think too hard about it. So let me drink some water. Right. Yeah, as I would say, if you want to make a kit that looks like a football soccer team, you come here to Best Master Kit Creator, and you got a 3D view, and you can change the shirt color, sleeves, make them same color or different color, shoulder panels, sleeve cuffs, you can take them off or on. Or you can choose a pre-made design. That's pretty nice, I guess. Not the colors, it's pretty badly. That's not good yet. That's not bad. And you got the texture view, which shows you how the texture is looking. And then you got settings. Okay, let me reduce it. Yeah, I need that. Texture size. Oh, that's for the texture size. Never mind. Full texture size. I wanted to see below the pants. It won't let me. So let's do Control minus. No. Zooming out is not working. Zooming in, neither. Oh well. Because we are on shirt. So, there we go. Cola. Shorts. There it is. No. Brown pants. This one. Get dark. It's fine. Socks, graphics. You can add graphic. Oh, nice. Oh well. And then you get the texture view with whatever sheet you made. And the camera thing. Okay. And then you do. It says login to save, but that's only if you want to save it as a preset that you will be able to customize later. You only need the texture, so you click here, you get kit.png, and save it to your temporary folder or whatever. And there you got it. Reminder, big reminder. Do not ever grab this and rename it to DDS and say, yes, now I'm done. My job here is done. I'm gonna put it on the kit's texture. I'm gonna give it the name. And it will work, right? No, it won't work because it's still a PNG even if you have renamed it. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna show you that there's an easy way to see if it's still a PNG or whatever. You can open it. I open it on a Hex editor, but you can also open it on Notepad. Not always used. Well, it's a binary file, but the style says PNG. You can see the same if you do HSD. You see it starts with PNG. Lots of shit. So if you try to do this, the compiler will look at that PNG and we will say, this is not a real DDS, it's a PNG. So it will reject, I think it will reject your entire git texture folder. So you learn. And, but yeah, so let's bring it back to PNG and open it on paint.net. And what we have to do is simply resave, but saving as, and we use DDS. There we go, here it is. You can also do click D and there it is, or like that. I do it like this, Shift, no, not Shift, Tab, sorry, Tab D. That is very quick. And these settings are fine, and we save it. Now that it's a DDS, we can test it in plain testing. Git textures, and here it is. Pretty much how it looked like that in the other place. Let me check something here. Ah, yeah. So if we look at the socks, they'll just look red. If we look at it on Blender, you see you got this green stripe on it. Why is that? And how does it look here? Here it looks fine. But if we take another kit, you see that this part here is much wider than this part here. It's actually okay. Never mind. Let's take a look at this one. Okay, this one is much wider, you see. Because this is a kit that was made for pre-Hot Space. Instead, Hot Space has narrower UVs for the socks, and it's made for Hot Space. Give it like that. But if you're gonna play on a PES which is a pre-Hot Space, you should extend it a little. I know this is annoying, but it is how it is. It is what it is. Do it like this. Keep in mind not to extend it too much, otherwise you end up in the sleeves. So let's grab this one, put it. I copied it. I put it on a new layer. Paste. Wait. It was zero sized. Okay, in original image. All copy, paste. And we double click on it and lower the opacity a little. So now we can see the superposition area. And now we know how much we should extend the sleeves. So that, move. And there we go. And this one should be a little narrower. So there we go. Now we can delete the other layer. And we can save this one. After saving, we can come here Scroll down a little, refresh, and here you go. The kit is fixed. And the rest should look fine, yeah. Again, the rest also doesn't match perfectly. But only the socks are noticeable. Alright, what next? Yeah. So coming back to the kit textures, you might have seen, you might notice in a few kits the presence of these back, chest, leg, name, and mask textures. So, first of all, the mask texture is something that is usually like that, kind of light brown, and you color it green if you want highlights. Let's say, yeah, let me show you here. But you don't need to learn this because it's a little more advanced. But if you make this 2048 and you get, for example, the kit texture is 4, which is this. I'm adding it as a layer and lowering the opacity. And you want, for example, the white parts to be reflective. You have to select them and then go here, and there was a special color, something like this. Now I fill with it. Okay, I delete this, and now everything that's this color here will look reflective instead of texture like on the kit. But again, we get to that later. For now, what you need for kits is nothing. If you don't have a mask, the compiler will add it for you. So don't worry about those. Now, the other ones are for the numbers that are shown on the back, the player, on the shirt, on the chest. I don't know of any teams which have it on the chest, and the leg. Some teams do have it on the leg. You choose all of that with the kit config editor. We get to that in a bit. And then there's the name. So all of these are textures. You can customize them as you want, and they decide the font used for the numbers and the names. And you see here that WXYC, the X has been replaced with a 0 and the C has been replaced with a 1. That's because the guys at A wanted to be able to show these two numbers on the name. So they're using X and C on the shirt names, and those get replaced by 0 and 1. I guess we'll take a look later. And as someone in chat said, most teams which use these numbers, like this one, have them copied from a certain football team, certain digraphs team, or they are customized. For example, these are for the main kit. The ones for the black kit are gold, and the ones for the panda kit are black again. So if you want to use these thingies, just grab any team's export, find some textures you like and copy them. And then you have to rename them with P3, P3, the same number as the kit, therefore. Alright, that's pretty much all about kit textures. Now we move on to kit configs. Kit configs are the heart of the kits. Because the textures, yeah, they are their appearance, but the kit configs are binary files, which are pretty short, and you don't need to look at them like this. I look at them like this. You can use the kit config editor. Where did I have it? Here. This one is should be on. Let me see if it's on the tools page. Otherwise, we need to add it. Git configs. Git manager v5. Does it works? It works. I got v4 here. Wait a second. v4 here, v5 here. So I had deleted this folder. What the fuck? Because I got configs and git configs. What the fuck? Configs. You have the time, you can show that using the wrong pest template could result in wrong texture clipping, the sock color, when moving from pest 19 to pest 17, if you haven't already. Yeah, I have just shown that. I had this texture which I made with Git Manager, and Git Manager makes stuff for pest 21, for FetSpots, FOSPES, and then we edited it, and you see I show that having this, we make the texture show green lines. So I went and overlaid a piece on it. I made it more transparent so we could see the difference. We could see how much we need to extend the sock, and then extended one and cut the other a little because I had extended too much. And then I saved it again, and after refreshing, you see it's gone. Okay, that's said, and this side too. So yeah, on pest tools, git configs for all past versions. Because fortunately, the git configs does not work with pest 21. Ah, okay. For from pest 14 to pest 19, and maybe even 20, but probably not because 21 is like 20. The format for git configs has never changed. And I had never even noticed that they're different on 21. I need to check the differences because if they're too different, the compiler needs to handle them differently. But I guess they're not too different. I guess only the models of colas and stuff changes. Before pest 21. I guess it's been edited by someone like Tomar. What you're saying is that it was rigged all this time? No, of course not. It's always rigged. Okay, anyway. Git Manager v5, and you get this thing here. So, one thing about this before I even start. Let's see, are you sure? Let me check something. Okay, never mind. I saw these were one of the programs in which you have to change the high DPI settings if you're using a large monitor or a higher definition monitor, let's say. Otherwise it would look weird. No, it looks fine. Okay, so this one here, you see you got shot model, color and stuff. I'll open, and we open AceGit config 1. So you see the name format is again the ID, which again can be just whatever. Then there's def, which means I forgot the default maybe. Nah. And then first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. Because for some reason pest like that. Instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The feature S4 format we just have Git 1, Git 2, Git 3, and the compiler will take care of editing the name. That will do better. And then real uni, because that's for a real kit. Implying. Okay, you open it, successfully load it, and then you can edit it. Shirt model, you got 173, 160, 144. And yes, you see the shirt itself doesn't change. So what changes? The sleeves. It should be sleeve model. 144 is the longest ones. 160 is like that. 176 is kinda rolled, a little rolled. And Cola, there are a lot of models, and you can see you can press up, down to search through them. Let me put it back on 105. Huh. Okay, I put 05 and it says elect Mr. Magoo. Values that not fall within the expected range. Because if you go 222, it says that doesn't exist. But for some reason, even 05 doesn't exist. But 5 does. The sleeve length can be changed in the FOSS editor? Yes. The save editor can edit the sleeve length. Which I'm not talking about here, or I'm telling other people now. This is not the sleeve length, this is the sleeve model. The sleeve length is short sleeves, long sleeves. And that can be changed on the edit menu on PES, or the save editor, tactical editor, aesthetics, tactical related aesthetic settings editor. So these ones only matter if you have selected long sleeves. Then we got the shirt pattern. There are a few, but they only get applied if you're using a proper kit. Winter collar. This is a short model, and you see the bottom part changes. Name on or off. Name shape light curve, straight medium curve, stream curve. Name Y, name size, back number Y. Y is the vertical coordinate. For the name, for the back number, spacing between the letters, the numbers. Chest number, position if you're using it. Size, 0 means disabled, I guess. Short number side, short number SY coordinates. I think here you have to go by trial and error because it's not showing it here. Short number size. And finally, last but not least, the kit file, the texture names. This is very important because if we load, for example, the has not been saved, I know, thank you. If you load the goalkeepers, you will see that we have not just a kit file, which is the main file, but also the back file here, the leg file here, the name file here. There's no chest file assigned, so this tester is doing nothing. Just loading the spots with 85 kilobytes, which is nothing, but it's just that. Because this kit is not using the chest number. And again, we got IDs here. So, do they matter? Nope. Because again, the compiler will edit even those. Even so they're inside a binary file. They don't matter. You don't need to update them from competition to competition, from cup to cup. Then we got the colors, which I have never seen used anywhere. And we got a picker. We can use color pick right now. Okay. But magic picker. No? Oh, okay. Huh. Okay, so this one looks tiny. Just color picker. So if you click here, oh, I double click and expand it. Okay, gives you a head. Gives you heads for the color you're selecting. But anyway. And these colors, just leave them as they are and never seen them used. And let's leave badge position. Remember about badges? They are the ones I talked about here. Okay. I made a screen cap of it, which shows you more or less where they are. You can move them. Right short, right long, left short, left long. For short and long sleeves. You see they get applied here too. Long sleeves type. We got normal and undershirt or only undershirt. Okay. That's kind of weird. Now, if you select the 144, you can make it use undershirts even if it's winter, instead of using normal when it's winter. But again, that's all stuff almost no one customizes, and you don't need to customize. You just know it's there if you want to go crazy with it. Okay, a very important thing about the kit config, and this you should know, is that if you want to use FBMs, full body model players, or even just something like the Grigori head, floating head, which is a floating head, not an FBM, but you want to hide the default player, or you want to use carbots, floating carbots, like ice or stuff like that, you need to use the FPC system. And I get to that eventually. But know that for that, the settings in the kit config are very important. This one, the shot model, the color, they must be these ones, because the color 105 on our DLC, on the 4cc DLC, has been deleted. I mean, replaced with a blank mesh. Same goes for the shot model 16. So to hide the default player, we have had to use a trick to remove each different part by choosing the ones which are removed. Again, we get into the details later. Just know that the kit config is important. To prepare FPC, you need to copy the kit config from a team which has FPC. Alright, that's it. And so you did the logo, kit test, kit configs, and now the last important folder, besides the common folder, which is just a folder in which you put textures and models which you want several players to use. But we will get to that later, much later. The faces folder. So once you have made, for example, your cube or your car head, like we did last time, for example, this one here, you simply have to assume you got your empty faces folder, but let's keep a couple here just as a reference. Okay, you copy that folder and rename it with the name of the player. Let's say this is Gondola, but it's a temporary gondola, so you call it Gondola Cat Head. Okay, and you add the teams, no, not the teams, the player ID. So the player ID is made of two parts. It's made of the team ID and the player number on that team. So let's assume Gondola is the third player on your holy shit Windows, on your list in PES. Why does it get stuck just for renaming a fucking folder? Okay. Later never. That's I mean, it always takes 2 or 3 seconds just to rename a folder for some fucking reason. But this time it took much longer than that. Anyway, so the player ID, let's say for your team that is 702 ID, team ID, and let's say this is the third player, it will be 70203. And then you put a spacer just for convenience. You don't really need it. Only this part gets considered by the compiler. And this part here gets removed by the compiler before putting it in the CPK. Oh fuck again. Ah, okay. But Again, the team ID does not matter, so I recommend writing SSS. So here you guys, we can delete the other two. We're using a fully custom thingy. And let's grab the other two-sided, which is this Shite-Yanyo sprite. And let's say this plays 01. So SSS 01, feature sprite. And that's it. So in most cases, you won't start from an spot that's empty. You will start from something that was made by someone else and then replace the parts on it. But if you're making something from scratch, now you know how to make it. So we made some faces. We have made a texture. Let's assume this is the only texture. So this is P1. Again, let's put it on Blend, on Paint.net. Let's go back. Git configs, we only need one, plus DGK. And Git texture is aligned. Git logo, well, let's keep that for now. A note, since we only have one kit, we delete the others. And now we look at the colors. So, main color for this, I would say, is the green. So we use the color picker, copy the heads, and paste it on the node. We do that with the other main color, which in this case I would say is this one. We copy and paste it here. And that's it. We delete the other node here. We leave it blank, just close. Might be coming handy later. The ID is not needed, and this is our team. My team. Okay, this is my team. And the node should ideally, I can't remember if this is required. I think it is required now. But it should be called my team, like the name itself. And it's also recommended to call it in all caps, for my team. Alright, and here too. So this is my team aesthetics. For a competition, let's say it's for Spring 37. That is export. Actually, a better name is, I got it here. I put it here. I should put it here. Yeah, I should write it here too. It is on the rules. Even so, it's just a strong recommendation. It will be named team.aesthetic export, like for example, there it is. So the best name for it is 2027 Spring Aesthetic Export. That's because when you sort it by name, you get the ones for later years at the bottom or at the top if you invert it. And then you only have to look at the season. Okay, so this is a working aesthetics export. I'm gonna stop here because it's almost an hour and a half. And next time we'll test it on Beth. See if everything went fine. Alright, let's see. There's an empty team folder template. So yeah. That's something I have also shown earlier. If you go to the AET page, AET here, at the bottom there's template. This is export template here. Use it if your team is new, and you get this, which is empty. It comes with a TST which says how to prepare it. And sort of a list. And there are also boots and gloves, and we'll see that next time too. Right. That's all for today, guys. See you next... next? No. Next Thursday I won't be around. So... we probably... maybe I will stream on Friday. I will take a look. Let's see if I can. But now, anyway, see you in 2 Thursdays. Bye.